1968, my father wrote his thesis about the influence of music in elementary education. He stated that music should not only be a class, but the entire curriculum should be taught through music. All teachers should have a basic understanding of how music works so they can use it to teach other subjects. He came to the conclusion that looking at the world through the lens of music was a crucial part of the biological and psychological development of a child. Of course he tried this with me. He had to try that with me. You know, music was easy for me because he put it out there for me. But when it came down to like mathematics, forget it. I didn't want to do that. And he said, no, you're going to like mathematics. You're going to like it. I said, no, I don't like it. You're going to like it. Her and my mother, you're going to like it. So he started putting music to it. And this is the kind of thing he would do. He would do like 2 plus 2 is 4. 4 plus 2 is 6. And he looked at me like that, you know. And I'm like, 6 plus 2 is 8. And 8 is 16. That's it. You do it. And he did it so many times. I don't know, all of a sudden I went 2 plus 2 is 4. 4 plus 2 is 6. 6 plus 2 is 8. And 8 is 16. And that was it. And the funny part about this, when I was in the test, I was very little, and I forgot the answer, and I was 2 plus 2. And the teacher said, Danilo, what are you doing? You can't be singing in class. I said, I'm not singing. I'm looking for the answer. It was very evident from the beginning the power of music in my life. Gave me so many examples. Another one was this guy a repairman came to fix the washing machine. And he worked like from 10 o'clock to around 3 o'clock. And around 2 o'clock, my father and I would start jamming. We were playing like a salsa or something like that. And the guy stood up, ready to go. And he stood up beside us. And my father looked at him, and it was something, every time you came to my home, you had to play something. Some friends of mine didn't like to come because of that. But he said, here's the carrot shredder. Play the carrot shredder. And the guys, you make a weird sound with that. Look. And the guy was kind of embarrassed at first. He went, man. And I was like, wow, he got into with us. And after 5 hours of work, he stayed with us an hour, more or less. And my father said, how much do we owe you for the work? And the guy looked at him sort of like, what? What are you asking? I am the one that had to pay you. I don't have money to pay you, Señor Danilo. Mr. Danilo, he said. And I was like, what? For me, was the clear evidence of the power of music. It was music giving an experience that money could not buy. Music was able to give him joy, energy, and happiness. It was a clear evidence of the transformation that he went through by playing music. I was completely blown away by that. Music therapy has proven the power of music. Many researchers, many wonderful stories of people who learn how to speak, autistic children, how to learn through music. There's so many of them, many researchers about this. I work with a child that came from extreme poverty, actually. And you won't believe what he did. He actually, all the music lessons that we worked together, he wrote it in his living room and the bedroom. So he turned his house into a classroom, actually. And he would be repeating this is the note, this is the mode, this is 2/5, all the music lessons. And then I started thinking, maybe he's not talking about music when he does that. He's reciting a new script for his life. Maybe he's reciting the new life that he wants to achieve. And you know what? A year later, he was the first Panamanian to win a presidential scholarship in the prestigious Berklee College of Music. and in May this year, he's due to graduate. That's an amazing story. In 2009, the president and the provost of Berklee College of Music asked me to create an institute that could push the boundaries of music education. An institute where I could unify my work as an improviser, a music teacher, mentor, and the social work I was doing in Panama. I could not think of creating an institute without remembering the experience of one of my greatest mentors, the great Dizzy Gillespie. Dizzy was a true ambassador of global jazz. He was trying to unite people from different cultures through music. He had a band called Dizzy Gillespie and the United Nations Orchestra. And sometimes he would make fun. He'd say, this is the real United Nations. He encouraged you to develop your own take of the music and explore your individuality in a collective improvisational model. It was important for him to bring where you came from, your folklore, to mix it up with jazz, to learn to have your own identity, but to learn to make the collective goal be the most important thing. I actually asked him once, because I wanted to know all the answers from him. He has so many mysterious answers. And I said, Dizzy, how did you come up with those voicing, those sounds? I mean, you're the only one who can make that. And Dizzy said to me, come here, play this, the first chord of Now in Tunisia, one of his famous tunes. So I said, oh, it's just an E-flat 7 chord. And I'm like, yes, here's the answer coming, right? He said, lift up your thumb and listen. Still waiting for the magic answer, of course. He said, lift up your pinky and listen. What do you think? And I was like, what he actually was telling me, that jazz is triggered by wonder and curiosity. And it's an element that is so crucial when you are playing this music in the moment. All happens in the moment. So because of this experience, I created the Global Jazz Institute. And it has the following methodology. A student need to explore the interconnective learning, interconnecting the inner world with the now globalized society. That's one of our biggest threats. We need to achieve sustainable development to global cooperation. And what a better way to do it than making music, having a central role. Interconnected improvisations, connecting music with painting, with poetry, with dance. The experience becomes multidimensional for them. It's almost like when you go to the movie and put on eyeglasses and see everything in 3D. It's almost like putting an eyeglass to your ears. That's the idea of this. The students have to be aware of social change. We are doing music as a social change. They have to become ambassadors for social change. They need to be engaged in global cooperation. Music is a great tool for that. Also, music in the restoration of ecology. They can record animal sounds, transcribe their songs. They can make a record about endangered species, for example. They can also compose for awareness and push us to have a different relationship with the earth that is crucial in this century. A Global Jazz Institute is a creative laboratory for passion education. Students are encouraged to compose music in the moment. I call this comprovising. It's a mixture of composition and improvising. They practice to not be afraid. You can't be afraid of the unknown. They creatively improvise in positive and hopeful environment. I call this not ear training, fear training. Wayne Shorter taught me that lesson. You cannot rehearse the unknown. He told me that. I was waiting for the cue, and he said, you can't rehearse the unknown, Danilo. I was like, oh, really? Because the only constant in life is change. I say, okay, but I need to know more. My first experience at the recording studio with Wayne Shorter. So we're recording, I'm really nervous. And the music had an A major chord, just a simple chord, you know. And he had a major 7, so I went. And he stopped the recording. Danilo. There was a silence. He said, put water in those chords. What? Put water in that chord. I became paralyzed. I didn't know what he was talking about. And I was like, And he said, okay, that's cool. Let's do another piece. So I went back to my hotel room, and I started looking for interconnective experiences. And I put the TV on. And there was a soap commercial. And there was this thing. And I said, wow, and I saw water coming out, so I imagined, okay, this is probably what it is, the 5th. I'm going to use the 5th to write the water chords. And I started writing the water chords with the 5th. Great, I had it on I was really proud of myself. Came back to the recording studio next day, and all of a sudden he called the same tune, and I was like, yes! So I'm going to play that. So I played this. And he goes, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Water in the chord. But then he came to me and said, but you know, Danilo, when you stand like this, you stand up like this, you got to look down, and the water has to be completely transparent. I say, what? I looked to see if I saw something too, you know. I went like this. I didn't see nothing. But I said, okay, what about this? He said, that's what I'm talking about. That's a little more clean now. I said, what? The greatest lesson he taught me there is that I needed to get out of my comfort zone. I needed to struggle in order to create tools for the unknown, to deal with the unknown. And right now, we're going to do that. We're going to make a collective improvisation. I'm going to give you 3 elements. We're going to do this. First of all, let's show the desire to become one as we're doing this, by the tuning and humming note. When I count 4, you're going to hum any note you want. At this moment, you don't have to worry about anything. Forget everything, all the struggles you have in your life, and just make any note. Can we try that? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, almost. I want more optimism, and I want more optimism in that note. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's believe that we can change the world with this note. Let's believe that we can make ourselves experience something we never did before. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice. That's one sound we're going to use. The other sound is we're in Panama, and this is the land of biodiversity, ecological biodiversity. So let's use the sounds of the birds. Wow. You see, you got that down. We can do that. Okay, that's another sound. And the next sound, I sort of need like a rhythmic motif, you know, like an idea. So we're going to use the word Panama with an accent and make a rhythm out of that. Ta ta ta, ta ta ta, ta ta ta. With those 3 elements, we're cool. Let's practice that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, here is our instant composition we're going to do. We're going to experience improvising together. So this will be the humming note, and birds, and, okay? Can we rehearse that? I think we're ready. Okay, here we are. Nice. You guys want to go on tour with me? You guys are... This is jazz. That's why I love this music. When I experience that, the moment, you all have that in you. As a matter of fact, when you were born, that's the first thing you said. You brought a story. You were like, ah, that you were saying something. You were, I'm telling you. So, you see, global jazz is a universal laboratory where we could use it to practice creativity and learn values such as equality and freedom. Through interconnecting the practice of improvisational music with all the other academic subjects in the school system, we can create communities that use improvisation to harmonize individual and collective needs. I like to see global jazz as the new cultural passport to universal tolerance. After all, from the beginning, jazz music has united people from all over the world. It's the language of freedom, equality, and creativity. Now, I see global jazz as an example of how global cooperation could be maximized as a tool for diplomacy. Interconnecting jazz and the folk music of the whole planet provides a practical way to create exchanges between cultures in the pursuit of peace, intercultural dialogues, and social change.